In this video I will teach you how to do Nadi Shodhana Pranayama, or alternate nostril breathing, a yogic breathing technique which can be used to still your thoughts as a beginner, but I will also teach you how to do this technique like a yoga master, by using Khechari Mudra to do it. Nadi Shodhana Pranayama is a yogic breathing technique which is useful for calming your mind and helping to still your thoughts during meditation, or as a precursor to meditation or pranayamas. In English, Shodhana translates to purify, and Nadi simply corresponds to Nadi. So the meaning of the name is purification of your nadis. Now nadis could be described as channels that distribute prana, or spiritual energy, throughout your body. I will go into detail of the nadis in a future video. But for now, just know that this technique, in addition to calming your mind, also purifies energy channels in your body. This technique is also often referred to as alternate nostril breathing. And this is because it involves breathing through only one nostril at a time. And I will now show you how. Before beginning this technique, first take a few deep breaths and breathe out fully. Then to do the technique, you lift up your right hand, bend the middle fingers, and close your right nostril with your thumb. Then inhale slowly and fully, without force, through your left nostril. After inhaling, you close your left nostril with your ring finger and exhale slowly and fully without force through the right nostril. Then you inhale slowly and fully without force through the right nostril. After this, close your right nostril and exhale slowly and fully without force through the left nostril. This completes one cycle, and to begin a new cycle, you just breathe in through the left nostril as before. Then you continue for more cycles directly after one another, and you should aim to do at least 5 cycles. But after this you could do as many more cycles as you would feel in need of at the moment. Just try to avoid ending at an incomplete cycle. So when you decide to end, do it after having breathed out through your left nostril. When you have become more used to this practice, you can also start to hold your breath after inhalation by closing both your nostrils with the thumb and ring finger. Then you exhale by releasing one nostril. After more practice, you can also begin to hold your breath after exhalation as well, again by closing both your nostrils and then releasing one of them when it is time to inhale. In this case, it would mean that breath holding would actually end a complete cycle, before you begin a new cycle by breathing in through the left nostril again. But for the very last cycle, you should avoid the breath holding and instead end the practice after exhalation through the left nostril. Another way to do this technique is to not bend your middle fingers, but instead placing them between the eyebrows and using the thumb and ring finger to close your nostrils as before. If both these ways of using your fingers feel difficult, you could also use your little finger instead of your ring finger to close the left nostril. And if you become tired in your right arm, you can support it with the left arm. Now when doing this technique, you can follow a certain ratio of breathing in and breathing out. You can start out with a ratio of 1:1. We'll say the same length for inhalation and exhalation. So if you were first learning this technique, you inhale for 6 seconds Then you should also exhale for 6 seconds. And you should do this throughout your practice. And you count the seconds silently inside of your head. In some days or some weeks, don't stress it. You might feel ready to advance slightly. Then you can advance to a 1-2 ratio. Inhaling for 6 seconds and exhaling for 12 seconds. Then the next advance could be to add retention of the breath after inhalation, with a ratio of 1-2. In other words, inhale for 6 seconds, hold the breath for 12 seconds, and then exhale for 12 seconds. The next step could be to double your breath retention, making the ratio 1-4-2. And then an advance after this could be to add breath retention also after the exhalation, with a ratio of, for example, 1-4-2-3. Inhaling for 6 seconds, holding the breath for 24 seconds, exhaling for 12 seconds, holding the breath for 18 seconds. When you have trained longer, you can also advance to inhaling for more seconds, and increasing everything else as well by the mentioned ratios. But remember to not strain too hard. This is a practice that should still your mind and not make you agitated by the effort of breath holding. Progress slowly over time, and once you feel that you have found a nice ratio and length in seconds, you could choose sticking to it. When doing this practice, you should sit in an upright position, and you could, for example, sit in Padmasana or Siddhasana. But if you can't sit in any of these asanas quite yet, you may just sit in any upright position that is comfortable to you. You may even sit against a wall to sit upright. If you would be interested in learning how to sit in Padmasana, you could check out my video on it, which you could find up here. Now, do you remember that I promised to teach you how to do Nadi Shodhana like a yoga master? Well, to do this you don't use your fingers, but instead you use your tongue to seal off the air in one nostril at a time, or both nostrils at the same time for the breath holding. In order to do this, you would have to be able to do Khechari Mudra. This involves rolling your tongue back in the mouth and putting it up into the nasal cavity, like this. I have another video where I teach you how exactly to do the Khechari Mudra and how I myself achieved it in only 14 days. This video you could find up here. Now, to show you how to do Nadi Shodhana with Khechari Mudra, while I can't go inside the nasal cavity with my camera, to show you in visual detail how I block one nostril opening at a time by placing my tongue in front of and slightly into the nostril opening. But what I can do is showing you how the outflow of air changes from one nostril to the other as I do this. To demonstrate this, I have devised a rather silly way by sticking earplugs into my nose and blowing them out one at a time, just by regulating the flow of air from inside of the nasal cavity with my tongue. Using the tongue was how the yoga masters of older times intended Nadi Shodhana to be done. But don't let this stop you from doing the technique with your fingers. It is better to practice what you can do at the moment, instead of waiting to do everything completely right at some point in the future. Thanks for watching, and as always, don't forget subscribing and clicking the notify button to not miss any future videos. Also click the like button if you enjoyed the video. And let me know your questions in the comment section. I'm looking forward to hearing from you.